Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's get straight to it. Online reputation management, ORM.
Right.
It's not just, corporate speak. It really is vital for a lot of industries, and I think especially for luxury hotels.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in a place like Bangkok, which is just so vibrant,
Right.
so competitive.
Exactly.
Travelers looking for that really high-end experience, they've got tons of choices. And what they see online, that often seals the deal.
It really does. So our mission today, basically, is to unpack how these ORM strategies are actually playing out. Like, are they impacting bookings for luxury hotels there in Bangkok?
Yeah, and we've got some great material to work with, an action research paper that includes these really in-depth interviews with hotel managers, real-world stuff.
The front lines,
It
exactly.
gives us a fascinating peek into how they're handling the digital world and, crucially, the results they're actually seeing.
And for you, our listener, if you want the insights without getting bogged down, this is your shortcut. We're pulling out the key takeaways on ORM's impact. Okay, let's start unpacking. When we say online reputation management, what are we really talking about?
Well, fundamentally, ORM is about actively watching and influencing how your business looks online.
Shipping the narrative.
Exactly. You want to neutralize any negativity or at least address it and really amplify the positive stuff.
Makes sense. Proactively managing that digital footprint. Now, the research focuses on luxury hotels. What does that actually mean here? Because that term gets thrown around a lot.
That's a good point. The research actually notes there isn't one single rigid definition.
Huh?
Generally, it's hotels offering a really high-quality premium experience. Often, you see 4- or 5-star hotels identifying themselves as luxury, so it's maybe more self-defined within that top tier.
Interesting. So less about a strict standard, more about that perceived quality. Now, why is managing this online rep so critical, especially for these hotels right now?
Well, it really boils down to how people choose where to stay. Potential guests rely so heavily on what they find online.
Review sites, social media.
Precisely. TripAdvisor, Google reviews, Instagram, OTAs, you name it. For a luxury hotel, their online presence is basically their main shop window. What people read, the ratings, the photos, the interactions, it all directly influences whether they click book.
Right, it's make or break.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first big question the research tackles, what's the actual impact on bookings when hotels do implement these ORM strategies? What
Wow.
did the Bangkok hotels say?
What came through really strongly from the interviews was a consistent theme. It needs to be holistic and customer-centric.
Holistic, meaning?
Meaning it's not just one thing, it's a combination of actively monitoring online reviews, engaging with guests on social media, doing search engine optimization SEO so people find them easily, and even working with online influencers.
A whole package deal online. Okay,
Yeah.
Can you give us some specifics? Like, what are these hotels actually doing?
Sure. So the luxury hotel, for example, they talked about making a really concerted effort over the last couple of years to boost their online presence and encourage positive reviews.
Just getting the word out there.
Yeah. And Sea Hotel really stressed a proactive, guest-first approach. They focus on personalized responses to feedback. They actively ask guests for positive reviews. And this is key. They use the feedback to actually make changes and improve their service.
So it's not just damage control, it's about learning.
Exactly. It shows ORM isn't just reactive. It's part of their evolution.
Smart. What about B Hotel? Any different strategies there?
B Hotel mentioned the importance of regularly checking all those review platforms, TripAdvisor, Google, OTAs, and responding quickly.
Yeah, on the ball.
Definitely. Plus, engaging on social media, keeping up with their SEO, and also those influencer collaborations we mentioned earlier.
Okay, so there's a clear pattern. They're all actively engaged across multiple online fronts. Does this line up with what the broader research says about ORM?
Oh, absolutely. The paper mentions research, Polak and Markovich, I think it was, from 2019. They talked about maximizing the positive media and minimizing the negative.
Sounds familiar.
Right. And this multi-platform approach the hotels are taking fits perfectly with that. They're trying to be present and positive everywhere a potential guest might look.
And what about the strategic agreements they mentioned? How does that fit?
Well, the hotels didn't use that exact phrase, but you could definitely see the influencer collaborations as a type of strategic partnership.
Ah, yeah?
Aligning with people who already have an online following to help, shape the hotel's image positively.
Interesting connection. Any other academic insights the paper brought in?
Yeah, it also cited work by Rialti and Kvitkova and Makovnik from just last year, 2023. They emphasized how ORM is becoming increasingly significant in tourism and hospitality.
It's not just a niche thing anymore.
Not at all. Their research showed ORM's impact goes way beyond just one-on-one interactions. It actually shapes the whole online conversation about a place, influencing future travelers' perceptions and even their behavior.
So the consistent engagement these Bangkok hotels are doing really feeds into that broader online ecosystem.
Precisely. It's building that overall positive vibe.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Second key area, guest feedback and reviews. How are these hotels actually getting this feedback and keeping track of it all?
Again, that proactive, sort of multi-pronged approach comes through. They're not just passively waiting.
They're actively looking for it.
Yes, using various tools and platforms to monitor what's being said.
Can you give us some examples of those tools? What are we talking about?
So, the luxury hotel mentioned using specific software for tracking social media mentions and online review sites. C Hotel gave a pretty detailed list.
Oh, yeah.
They track the big ones like TripAdvisor and Google, monitor social media constantly, send out post-stay surveys, use actual feedback management software to keep it all organized, and even have direct communication channels open. It's quite comprehensive.
Wow, sounds like a full-time job in itself.
Yeah.
What about B Hotel? Similar setup.
Very similar. They're also actively engaging on review platforms, keeping tabs on social media, using those post-stay surveys, employing specific ORM tools, and they also stress having direct feedback channels, like a dedicated guest relations email.
So casting a really wide net to catch all that guest sentiment. Okay, but what happens when the feedback isn't good? How do they handle negative reviews, those potentially really damaging comments?
This is where, that luxury service commitment really has to translate online.
Right.
The main principle seems to be address it proactively and use it as a chance to get better. They all talked about responding quickly, showing empathy, and personalizing the message, making it clear they've actually read it.
Not just a copy-paste apology.
Definitely not.
Can you share some examples of how they actually respond?
Sure. The luxury hotel said they try to reach out directly to the guest, apologize, and then really work to fix whatever the issue was. They see it as valuable input.
Turning a negative into a potential positive.
Kind of, yeah. C Hotel focuses on acknowledging the review super fast, offering a sincere apology, spelling out the steps they'll take, maybe a refund, maybe some other compensation, and then, crucially, following up privately.
Ah, that private follow-up is interesting. Takes it offline.
Exactly. It shows they're serious about resolving it personally. B Hotel also stressed being professional but empathetic. Personalized messages, again, offering concrete solutions, refunds, discounts, and encouraging the guest to connect offline for a more direct resolution.
Okay, so the common threads are acknowledge, apologize, offer a fix, and try to resolve it privately. Does the academic literature back this up?
It really does. The paper brings in Villia and colleagues from 2016 who pointed out how essential it is to have an ORM system specifically for monitoring and addressing criticism.
You need a plan for the bad stuff.
Absolutely. It's not enough just to see it. And other research connects this directly to bookings.
How?
Well, Asarut and Isam Kanchanalaj in 2022 looked at how brand websites and review sites sway booking behavior, big influence there. Went et al., also 2022, linked ORM directly to brand identity and how reviews impact guest decisions. And specifically for luxury hotels, Zhang and Moutinho in 2019 highlighted just how powerful user-generated content is, meaning you really need to manage it carefully because it hits the bottom line.
Right, so managing reviews isn't just PR, it's directly linked to revenue.
Okay.
Brings us to the third objective, the strategies themselves, and, well, do they actually work? Do they bring in more bookings? Did these Bangkok hotels see a real change?
Yes, this is sort of where the rubber meets the road, right?
Exactly.
And the consistent finding across the interviews was, a clear positive link. Effective ORM seems to correlate with an increase in bookings.
That's the headline. Can you give us the specifics? What do they report?
Okay, so the luxury hotel directly linked their ORM focus over the past couple of years to more bookings, but also more repeat customers and higher occupancy rates overall.
Wow, across the board then.
Seems like it. C Hotel also saw a, quote, notable impact on bookings. They specifically tied it to their proactive review management, building a positive brand image, which, they said, really boosted customer trust.
Building that trust translates to bookings. Makes sense.
Yeah, it suggests that managing reputation builds stronger connections. And B Hotel. They noticed more bookings coming specifically through OTA's online travel agencies.
Interesting. Why OTAs specifically?
They felt their improved online reputation on those platforms built more confidence among people browsing, making them more likely to book right then and there.
So it really does feel like ORM isn't just a cost center, it's an investment that pays off. How do they know it's paying off, though? How are they measuring success?
Good question. They're not just looking at one thing. It's a pretty comprehensive approach looking at a range of different metrics.
Like what? What are they tracking?
The luxury hotel tracks things like the number of positive reviews, the overall sentiment, positive, negative, neutral, and how fast they respond. They also benchmark against competitors.
See how they stack up?
Right. C Hotel monitors overall ratings, the volume of reviews, does sentiment analysis, tracks their response rate, their rankings on sites like TripAdvisor, social media engagement, and direct guest survey feedback. Very data-driven.
It sounds like it. And B Hotel, similar metrics.
Pretty much. Overall review ratings, guest satisfaction surveys, social media monitoring, website analytics like traffic and conversions, competitor benchmarking, and crucially, they also look at revenue and occupancy rates as ultimate indicators.
Okay, so a mix of direct reputation metrics and bottom line business results.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Now, the research also mentioned integration with overall marketing. How does ORM fit into the bigger picture?
Yeah, they stressed it's not siloed. ORM is seen as deeply woven into their main marketing strategy.
It's foundational.
Exactly. A strong online rep is part of their brand, a key tool for attracting guests. And other teams, like customer service and sales, are often involved too, especially in responding and ensuring that consistent message.
All right, everyone's got to be on the same page. So what advice do these experienced hotel pros have for others looking to step up their ORM game?
The advice was pretty consistent across the board, actually.
Yeah.
Basically, take a comprehensive approach covering all the key online spots. Keep monitoring constantly, personalize your interactions, deal with issues fast, and make sure ORM is baked into your main marketing plan.
So be proactive, be responsive, be consistent, be integrated.
That sums it up nicely.
Solid advice.
Right?
And does the wider academic world echo this?
Oh, definitely. The paper cites a whole raft of studies supporting these practical points.
Like what?
Well, Danish et al. Back in 2019 showed how negative reviews hurt booking intentions, highlighting why proactive management is needed. In 2021, linked guest reviews directly to satisfaction and loyalty, reinforcing why engagement matters. There's research on user photos making reviews more helpful, how consistent management responses affect bookings, specific studies on handling negative reviews in luxury hotels, even research on building rapport in responses to positive reviews. It all points to the same thing. ORM is multifaceted and absolutely critical.
Wow, okay, so it's a really clear picture. Bringing it all together then, what are the main takeaways for our listener from this deep dive?
I think the biggest takeaway is that ORM is just non-negotiable for luxury hotels in a market like Bangkok. It's not just about image, it directly impacts bookings, builds that essential customer trust, and drives repeat business.
And the way to do it is holistically, focusing on the customer, actively managing all feedback, good and bad, and making it part of your core strategy.
Absolutely. That's the formula that seems to work.
And while, the exact results might differ hotel to hotel, the message is loud and clear. A strong, well-managed online reputation isn't a nice-to-have anymore. It's fundamental.
Couldn't agree more. In today's world, ignoring your online rep is like hiding from your customers.
Yeah, exactly. So here's a final thought for you, the learner, to chew on. Given how much we all rely on online info for travel, what are the long-term consequences for hotels that maybe don't invest enough in this? Or, looking forward, how might new tech, like AI, change the game for online reputation management in hospitality?
Interesting questions indeed. Lots to think about.
Definitely. Well, thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure. It was a great discussion. Until next time.